Hello and welcome to It's About Youth with me, Fei Kwan. Malaysia is home to a vibrant gaming community with over 20 million active gamers. That makes up more than 60% of the population according to the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, or MCMC. But what keeps players coming back? And when does a game become more than a game? So today on It's About Youth, we'll be looking at how games and virtual worlds have evolved into meaningful social spaces and what that says about connection in a digital generation. Joining me in the studio today is Steve Yong. He's a content creator with nearly 70,000 subscribers on YouTube, mostly known for his MapleStory Southeast Asia content. Steve, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me as well.
It's a pleasure to have you here. When we're talking about online games, I suppose my first question for you, I want to take us all the way back to the beginning. What was your first experience with online games? What was that like?
I think my first experience was online games. Wow, that brings back memories. Ties all the way back when I was in primary school.
Yep.
Yeah, and I just finished UPSR, and my mom was like, okay, you have achieved your target. I said, here is the very own computer over here.
Wow.
Yeah, so during that time, computer was like, wow, I got a computer of my own. I was so excited. Yeah, and it's like a journey. I fell in love with the computer, and I was so excited about it. And as well as I told my friend, hey, do you have any like online games that you can intro to me, right? So we can actually play together. So he actually said, yeah, sure. He dashed out a CD. During that, we were using a CD that time, right? A CD, I'll look at the CD, okay. Then we gotta install it and everything. I look at the CD, it's named called MapleStory C. That's a mushroom icon over there. I was like, okay, interesting. So I discussed with my friend, and he was telling me how this game works and everything. And first thing, I got the CD, I got back home, is plug into the CD itself, install the game, and during that time, I was using ADSL.
Okay, we're going way back.
Yeah, we're going way back, right? Using ADSL. That was, you guys know the era. And at that time, when I first booted up the game, I was being welcomed with a welcoming screen, and I got to customize my character. And that was really magical. Right? I got to customize my character. I got to see how to actually make sense of how I actually look like in real life and in the game. And that, later on, I went into a tutorial. So there's a tutorial stretch, get to enjoy like how to play the game itself. Then I got to meet my friend. So I still remember vividly that map that I met my friend. It was a very green map. It was Illenia, the map name. So I met him, and he was saying hi to me. That was my first experience talking to someone online at this specific location. So I feel like that is something really magical, right? And at that moment, he was guiding me through like how to play the game itself, how to go through the process, and etc. And we go on every day, every night. After school, we just come back and we just log in and play the game. And I also made a lot of friends when I was playing the game. We just kind of, hey, how are you doing? We just get to know each other during the game itself. Yeah. So yeah.
I mean, I think that magic is really translating through your words because it's such a core memory for you. You remember the map, you remember what it looks like, how, you know, the chronological order of how you got into the game. And that's really one aspect, right, about online worlds where youth these days are meeting inside games. You know, traditionally you might say it's the playground or going to the mall, but now it's in these virtual worlds. At what point then did you realize that games were really all about connection? Can you share any sort of examples of when online games truly became social?
I would say in the very early days, so there are contents such as guilds. You know, so in the guild, you will have your guild leaders. You have, we just go in a hierarchy. We have seniors, we have boss, seniors, and we have juniors. So the guild leaders, which is the boss, will manage the seniors. Yeah, the seniors, which will manage the members, which is the juniors. So that actually goes in with a skill that you unintentionally you will learn at this point of time, whereby it relates back to your people management skills. Yeah. So that aspects of people management skills makes the player understands the so-called boss more, and the boss understands the players more. So that social aspect is, I would say, super important at that point of time. But when we were kids, we were like, okay, he is just like our guild leader. But when you think of it in a longer stretch right now, you think, oh, okay, during that time, it's actually training me to be a better person, right? And not only that, there's also another aspects whereby you can actually collaborate with other players in building your own home. I think a lot of players actually like go into the game, building your own house, and that actually creates creativity. Yeah, that is something that is you don't really need to really focus on, but it's in the sense that, oh, I have free time. I want to share with my friends the house that I actually built, the design that I actually did. It comes up with creativity, and it comes up with a conversation, right? So-called. So because your friend is designing it in a green color, but I am designing it in a red color. But in a sense, how can you match them both? There's a discussion going on over there. So the social aspects comes in with a broader and wider discussion with creativity. And not to forget, there's also events. So every festive season, there's events that's been held in the game. So during that time, you can see a lot of players coming in, logging in, even in New Year. So you can see normally New Year, we go out and look at fireworks and stuff. But in the gaming community, you can see that a lot of players log into the game. They just wish each other like, Happy New Year, trading items and such. So these are the various aspects of the game that you can actually see in the online gaming community itself. Yeah.
I think when you're mentioning all these things, it really draws a lot of parallels either to the corporate world, a company, or an offline community, whether it's meeting for events, arranging guilds, essentially a HR department. And I actually wanted to, you brought up an interesting point about how for you it was a game changer to be able to incorporate or customize your avatar. That sort of personalization, how does that represent how does that freedom of expression sort of shape how young people see themselves or want to represent themselves online?
That's a good question. I think right now, a lot of people wants to have a different perspective of themselves, right? So in the game, they can fully express what are they representing. So in terms of an avatar, you can see many games have different avatar. You can customize literally from anything you want, right? And
the sky's the limit.
Yeah, the sky's the limit, exactly. So that actually brings out creativity and as well as a safe space for the players themselves. They can basically talk to anyone that they want, right? Even meet new friends. That with that avatar is something like their so-called image, right, in the online world itself. Yeah.
And I like how you say safe space, because that's very crucial for a lot of people and a lot of gamers here. You've clearly built a very strong community around MapleStory Southeast Asia, MapleStory C. What makes a virtual world to you feel like a real community rather than just a game and logging in for escapism or to take a break from daily realities of life?
I think most importantly is the community itself, right? So every game has its own community, and just a short story of mine. I think I was actually very surprised. I was in a train station transiting, okay, and there was someone that comes up to me, and he watches my video.
Oh, okay.
So someone comes up to me and said, "Hey, are you Steve?" I was like, "Yes, I am." And he introduced to me, and apparently, he actually played the same game with me 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was explaining through, do you still remember me? We were actually playing this specific content. And during that time, we play every day just to get that specific item. And I remember his in-game name, because it's a very vivid name. It's a very special name. So I remember his in-game name. He's mentioned to me, I am who? And I was like, oh, wow, you were that person. It's like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You never thought that someone that you play online 20 years ago get to meet you in real person, and you get to experience that, oh, okay, 20 years ago, wow, that was amazing. And he was still following my content and such. And later on, I was asking him, hey, do you have time? Let's catch up, And we have dinner, we catch up in life, how is it going for after 20 years?
Wow.
These are the social aspects that I think it's very rare I only met once. It was super rare, and I was really amazed of how the players and community actually takes care of each other and just want to learn about life. Yeah, those are the social aspects. And one important thing is that since it's like 20 years, right? There are a lot of events that is currently running in the game. So, for example, in Maple Story, so every year they will have an offline event. So during the offline event, you can see like a lot of players gather around just to attend the event, just to get to know each other, just to catch up on their life, their time. Some even don't play the game, but they still attend the event because they feel like the sense of connection, right? The sense of connection. And you can see players from all around the world. You can see players from Taiwan, Japan, Singapore, Thailand
Right,
coming
all over the
over
world.
just to attend the event. And some of them are like guild friends, buddies, you know. Some of them brings their snacks over as well to share with their guild members. So that is some of the aspects I would say it actually brings up the community itself. Yeah.
It's very interesting, and I'd really like to tap a little bit more into those lasting friendships and connection, the
Yeah.
keyword that you mentioned there. But first, let's hit for a quick break. Stay with us. Welcome back to It's About Youth, where today we're looking at virtual worlds as online spaces, online social spaces for the youth. Now, I'm here with Steve Yong, a YouTuber, and earlier you were talking about a very special example about reconnecting with a friend from Maple Story C 20 years ago, and how that has proven to be a lasting friendship, someone you remember from nearly 2 decades ago. There are skeptics, however, or people that may assume that relationships formed in games are quote-unquote less real. What's your take on that? Why do you think that perspective exists?
I think the main thing is the connections that we have with the player, right? As I mentioned, I have friends 20 years ago, all right, I met before. And right now, even during my secondary school time, those friends that I met and they're still playing the game, we still keep a close connection between each other. And they are literally one of my closest friends right now. And we do keep up, go out for a drink, you know, coffee, just talk about life. And you could see, not sure if anyone has seen, but there are scenarios whereby players that are in the game, they are a couple, but in real life, they got married as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so in recently there was a news, there's a Maple Story player, they get to know each other in the game, and then at the end, they got married in real life.
Right.
And they had a grand wedding. Everything is about a maple theme over there. It's so amazing to see that the connections between players can actually grow into your soulmate.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's something that is very, I would say, very magical. Yeah.
You're not just forming skills, you're
Yes.
not just finding friendships, but you can
Yes.
also find love
Exactly.
and a lasting partner in life.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Thank you for sharing that story.
Most welcome.
But going back to skeptics themselves, though, there's also people who sort of dismiss games as a waste of time, or they think that it has a bad influence due to violence. What do you have to say about that?
To be really honest, if it wasn't for Maple Story, I would not be here at this stage.
Right.
Yes, because Maple Story actually pushes myself, right? Previously during my uni time, I was really, really shy. I do not want to talk to anyone. I was an introvert, you know. And I attended a class, and the class, the lecture was like, everyone has to record a video of themselves to improve their presentation skills. So I felt that, oh, that is something really interesting, and I want to continue doing that. So I did not give up. I kept recording video. I still remember I recorded my first video and uploaded it to the public. It's still there.
Right.
It's very embarrassing to look at it, but I feel like that is a skill that is always learning and not giving up, coming up to this point. And with that skill, I get to meet up with various players from around the world as well. So that actually comes into dedication and content creation. And not only that, there are also a lot of players, we call them maplers,
Okay.
that self-learn a skill. For example, coding. So they do not know how to code, but with the passion that they have, they want to code and build something for the community. So we have seen players building tools to enhance the equipments and basically look at the stats and how to make sure that all the equipments are well prepped and everything. And we have players that actually self-learn coding to build an entire ranking website, which is something that you don't really think about. Oh, a game will pushes someone to that direction.
And to kind of give back to the community.
Yes, they're gonna give back to the community, and they do it as a hobby. It's not their real job. It's just like a hobby, and they self-learn. And that was before the AI era, so everything is like self-learn. So yeah.
And it's all human driven,
Yes.
all human passion. And well, I'm glad that MapleStory has made such an impact on you for you to be here in the studio with me today. I'm glad that you've continued to be comfortable in front of the camera. But I'm sure there's the other side of it, right? Where games can be powerful social spaces, but they can also be sort of overwhelming. For you personally, having been in the gaming scene for over 2 decades, and then you yourself now balancing that as a content creator, what does healthy gaming and balance look like for you?
Healthy gaming, that's a very good question. I think healthy gaming strikes a balance between someone time management as well as responsibilities. So you have to be very responsible on your time to actually go into the gaming industry, you know, and playing the game itself is just a game. It's fun to play, but when you are too engrossed with it, it tends to be a different scenario.
It's easy to get carried away.
Yes, it's easy to get carried away, but with time management, you'll be able to get more skills in terms of the game as well, and you'll be able to share more experiences in the near future, maybe with your kids, and maybe with the community, because the community is the key. Community is the key, and everyone is very supportive of all the players doing, example, document guides, doing YouTube guides, and all this stuff. They are very supportive in this scenario. So this creates a very, I will use again, safe space for the gamers to actually express themselves, and as well as introducing more and more skills that they can actually learn. Yeah.
Yep, there's just so many overflowing impacts and benefits from one simple game, right? And that very special game to you is MapleStory C. So I guess I'd like to focus on that specifically. It's a game that's been around since, correct me if I'm wrong, 2005.
Yes.
So 21 years. And since then, there have been so many other games that have been developed, so many more modern games that are now available, no longer just through a CD. It's just as simple and quick with a press of a button to
Yes.
download. What encourages I guess I'm curious, what encourages players such as yourself and the community that you speak so fondly of to keep coming back to MapleStory C specifically?
It will be the content and the community. Yeah, most importantly. So the community is the ones keeps driving this surging scenario over here, keeps driving everyone. And with the contents being added to the game, frequent updates and such, especially on events, you know, so players keep coming back with all those events. And when the players come back, they will ask other players, hey, how do I play this? You know, what is the latest update? And this creates a communication between the players, and it creates a topic. You can see players asking questions on Reddit, asking questions on Discord, and all of them have their own Discord group, you know, their friends coming into play. That comes into a very important, I would say, synergy between the players themselves. And that is one of the things that you will see in most communities and most games as well.
Right.
Yes.
So it's not unique to just MapleStory.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
when it comes to MapleStory, then do you think nostalgia plays a part in it?
Yes.
Is that sort of like an emotional anchor as players grow older and life becomes a bit more complicated outside?
Yes, yes. I would say that is one of the things. And when you talk about MapleStory right now, you say, oh, that is a very old game. We used to play it a long time, and some players like, okay, let's just get in again. You know, feel the excitement once again. Yeah.
Does that evoke something for you too,
Yes.
even till today?
Yes, even till today.
And then how do you see online games then kind of evolving as social spaces for the next generation of players?
For younger generation of players, I think they are now born with the internet. Right, it's very easily accessible, not compared to 20 or 10 years ago. And this actually creates a lot of opportunities for the younger generation to actually play in their phone, right, mobile game. And you can see like in the coffee shop, you can see players over there just playing with their group of friends, and they're just discussing about strats, discussing about how to actually beat the boss, you know, those what do you say? Those collaboration and as well as communication. Those are the skills that you can see younger generations will take in. Yeah.
And do you think that sort of social aspect is just only going to go stronger over time?
Yes, definitely.
And not so I guess it's very different from what a lot of skeptics would say is games are making people antisocial. They're just glued to their phones. What do you say about that? It's actually the exact opposite, right, from what you're telling me.
Yeah, I think I would like to share a very close story of mine. When I started streaming, I get to connect with streamers around the world and also bloggers around the world as well. So 2 years ago, I actually attended a MapleStory event in the States.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Okay.
and that was actually my very first time meeting them, the streamers, in person. Because every time when we actually talk to each other, it's actually either on Discord, voice call, and maybe just log into their stream and say, hey, hello, how are you doing? But this time it's like meeting them in person is a totally different experience. So imagine that you were there and they were there just welcoming you to their country. And they just brought me around, toured me around, you know, and we get to share the cultural differences, we get to share the food, and of course I brought some of the snacks from Malaysia over as well.
Right.
And
It's all about the
yeah,
food.
it
Thank
was all
you for
about the
representing
food.
the country that way.
Yeah, and coffee as well, because I'm from Ipoh.
Okay.
I brought them coffee as well, and it was an experience that I would say I don't know how to explain it, but it was an experience that I could not forget. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your insights and your experiences today, Steve. I think it really shows that online games are truly social spaces, right? Virtual worlds that just go beyond entertainment, beyond a hobby. And it really helps people stay connected. Building communities, the really big word that always keeps being repeated today, building communities even across distances. Thank you so much for your time. This has been It's About Youth. I've been speaking to Steve Yong, a content creator on YouTube. I'm Fei Kwan. Thank you for watching and see you next time.